Match reaction, and Manchester United are through to the FA Cup final, beating Coventry 4-2 on penalties. But the scoreline, just does not tell you the actual full story here.
No, it doesn't. If you're a Coventry City fan, till the day you die, you will regret starting that game the way you did. Because the second half, you came at it, and if you'd have done that in the first half, the way United just crumbled, you would have won that game easily. United just did not have the battle for it. How they survived, I'll never know in my life. At the end there, they could have scored. It was only millimetres offside for a dramatic 4-3 win. How United collapsed there was so embarrassing. But at the end of the day, we got through. That was the priority, and I just don't know how.
2-0 up at half-time, winning 3-0. You know, Scott McTominay, Harry Maguire as well, with a great header from a set-piece to take us into half-time, 2-0. What was the problems then second half? Because we even scored them to make it 3-0.
Well, listen, the start of that second half, the fans were slow to come out. United fans, Coventry fans, didn't take the seats, many of them. They thought it was all over. It looked all over. Then it all changed, and it changed. Scored the third, and then it changed when he started making the substitutes. Why was Rashford not brought off? He did nothing, as far as I'm concerned, in that game. Proved everything I've been saying about him. He's a fraud. That's what he is. He's a fraud. He went down on a tackle, didn't get touched, went off injured, went up for the fight, wasn't running, wasn't doing the job, and then it just collapsed. Taking Garnacho off, bang out of order. But the thing what crumbled was taking Manu off. I just never, ever, and I will never understand why he did that.
Yeah, taking Garnacho off for Antony, Manu bringing Christian Eriksen off. And I think it was around about that 70-minute mark, Coventry got that goal, and it seemed to just breathe life into him, didn't it? Like they could go on, get other goals as well.
Well, it's like they just started the game. They had the energy, they were into it, they were snapping into the tackles, they were running. United just sort of backed off, let them come at them. They weren't 50-50 tackles. United was losing it. They weren't up for it. They sort of lost the momentum. It just didn't work as a team. Coventry could see it. And when they scored that first goal, I said to Kieran here, I said, do you know what? I've got a funny feeling they're going to come back and score 3 goals here. Do not be surprised. And the way United just fell back, yes, there was opportunities. They had opportunities in the extra time. But let me tell you something. Till the day they die, Coventry will look back at that, right, and they'll rue taking that game on the way they did in that first half. I am shocked by the level of the collapse, what happened there, and I'll never, ever forget. I've seen some FA Cup games, right? They've been exciting and everything, but this was embarrassing. Exciting if you're a Coventry fan, but for a United fan, people were walking out there. It was bad, and I mean bad. That could have been the biggest upset in my recollection of the FA Cup that I would have witnessed. And do you know something? Players should hang their heads in shame. Erik ten Hag, the coaching staff, they should all hang their heads in shame, because that was pitiful. That was embarrassing.
Someone who might be relieved tonight, though, is Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I think it was their second goal deflected off him. Do you think it was a penalty for them as well, in your book?
50-50, some are given, some aren't. You just don't know which way it's going to go. Do you know what I mean? You know, penalty decisions there. Was it handball where their player went up in the air? You know, there was well-worked goal for the first one. And then it just seems to be like United take it on, got the second goal, just at the right time, to be honest with you. It deflated him, and I think the fans got deflated. I think United fans just accepted, oh, it's game over. You know, people did have the attitude going there today and watching the game. Oh, it's Coventry City, get a couple of goals and then the game's over. Coventry fans felt the same way. And I just thought, just take it to them, get the third goal. We got the third goal, and I thought that was it. But with this United side, time and time again, when changes are made, things start to go wrong. And at times we've seen collapses, but this would have been monumental. The scale would have, it would have broke the Richter scale. It would have been off the charts. And so lucky. I'm sat here now, absolutely shocked how we got through that game. I can't believe it, Kieran.
Have you got to then give credit then to the players for coming back then the way they did, considering the collapse that we did have actually in the full 90 minutes? 3-0 up, then 3-3. But then to win it on penalties, or can you just say penalties? It's a flip of a coin. Who wins, really?
You look at it, 3-3. There was opportunity. Look, Bruno there, fantastic shot, right? Hit the bar, bounced down, out. But they had the same. They had the same opportunities. They were better than us, right? After the substitutes were made in the second half. They won everything. They wanted it. They looked fresh. Even the substitutes, what come on? Ericsson come on. Antony come on. They were lifeless. Lifeless. It looked as though they just caved in. And Rashford going off the way he did summed it up. To me, this is my opinion. I don't think he was injured. I just don't think he was up for the fight. And I think he thought, I'm out of here. And he just walked off. That's my opinion, okay? Might be harsh. I might be proved wrong. But looking at Rashford, looking at the way he performs, he did not look up for the fight. And the fight just wasn't there. The team wasn't there. There was no organisation. It didn't work well. I know we was disrupted. I feared. Well, I didn't fear. I was worried before the game thinking these changes to the centre halves. But the thing is, they didn't work as a team. They didn't fight together. Time and time again, we've turned around. Everyone out there has turned around. Moments in games, individual performances. It's not a team. That was not a team out there at 3-0. I think it would have masked, because really, if you look at the first half, the second half of United, right, really, where they didn't pound them, they slowed the game down too much, too often. Rashford was the main culprit. Bruno was doing the same. The ball's going back to the goalkeeper, back to the back four, slowing it down. Should have just gone at him for 90 minutes and just got as many goals and just treated it as that game. Because at 3-0...
Yeah, but we did do it 3-0, but it goes back to every single game near enough we've played this season.
Yeah.
We can't control a game and we can't see a game out. And at 3-0 up against the Championship side, and that's all due respect to Coventry, because they've got to be applauded the way they come back today. You know, big respect to them. But, you know, that's the massive problem. And you've got to be looking at the coaching staff there today. Yeah. You've got to, with the instructions from the sidelines now. We've got a lot of injuries, but that cannot be an excuse for the way they tried to see that game out today, because it was a joke.
No, absolute joke.
And you're looking in extra time as well. You mentioned the only real opportunity that we had was Bruno hitting the bar. Yeah. They had two excellent chances to, you know, to put even further away in the lead. And you look at that with Wan-Bissaka. Was it half a foot offside, VAR?
Only just offside.
Only just.
Right, and
I mean, that is how we've scraped through today.
Well, I'll put it this way. Sir Jim Ratcliffe was sat there. He got there in the second half. If his foot wouldn't have kept him on off, if his foot, right, and he'd have been onside there, Sir Jim Ratcliffe would have had big decisions to make tonight on the players, on the staff, on the manager, on the lot. And do you know what I've been thinking since the end of the game? I'm thinking Sheffield United on Wednesday. Out of the league, they're going out, they're rubbish, they can't play football. Every now and again, they'll put in a performance. Let me tell you, that Old Trafford crowd, I can't wait to see what they do. That performance against Sheffield United on Wednesday night is going to be pivotal on what Sir Jim Ratcliffe does going forward here now. Because I'm telling you, if it'd have all gone pear-shaped there, because it looks as it did, I think Sir Jim Ratcliffe would have made a decision tonight, because he'd have had to make a decision. It's the worst thing I've seen, that, right? And also the luckiest thing. As a Manchester United fan, I'm over the moon. Yeah. But going forward, you have to say to yourself, what's going on here? What is going on?
Yeah, I think just on the pitch and the performance today, I think I've got to give a shout out to Harry Maguire. A lot of us didn't think he'd be even here this season. He must have played at least 27, maybe 30 games up to now for Manchester United. He's hardly trained this week as well. Yeah. Maybe 1, even 2 training sessions this week. And you've seen him in extra time up on the left wing. And he actually probably done more than Rashford did whilst he was all on the pitch for that, what was it, 80 minutes or so?
Yeah.
70 minutes.
I've got to hold my hands up there, and I think everyone else should just look at Harry Maguire's performance there. He was there, and he was trying to do his best, trying to get people playing, get them going, and he stayed solid in everything he did. He nearly even scored.
Never gave up. No. Give everything that he could on the pitch, and you could see that. Didn't get everything right, but he put everything he possibly could into that game, and you know,
that's what
shout out to Harry Maguire for that.
Harry Maguire there was just leading. Absolutely great performance, right? In amongst children. That's what it was. He stood out head and shoulders above everyone, I thought, right throughout the game. I thought his performance was excellent. I looked there and I thank God for Onana today, right? They'd scored 2 goals. They'd come back, right? And Onana just made a terrific save there in the second half. But at the end of the day, you know, they could have won. They had the opportunities, okay? And I can't believe that I'm saying that after watching that game.
Do you know, with you making a comment before on the substitutions and you didn't agree with Garnacho and Manu coming off, but is Erik ten Hag, is his hand being forced having to take them 2 players off to give them a rest? Because in my opinion, I don't know about yours and everyone out there, they've been our 2 best players this season and they're 2 young kids. You know, the experienced players in this team just haven't been stepping up on a regular basis and been letting the younger ones down.
Okay, Garnacho, right? The issue is Garnacho always coming off. We know what happened. He wasn't happy last week coming off, okay? But let's get something straight. Why should a man like Rashford stay on that pitch when that young lad wants to play football? He was fresh. He didn't look tired. It didn't look as though, well, I don't think there was any chance of him getting an injury. He just needed to be on there to keep the momentum going. Why change it? There's no need. Take somebody off who's not playing well, who's not putting the effort in, who's not putting the fight in, who's not sprinting, who's not running. And Rashford does it every game. As far as I'm concerned, and I've said it before, he is a fraud. Something's going on to keep that man on the pitch and to get him to start a game. I just don't understand it at all.
Manchester City in the FA Cup final. Right now, yeah, I'm doing the same as you inside, trust me. It's going to take a monumental effort to get anything out of that game. You know, for it just to go to penalties on the performance that we've seen today. But it's the hope that kills you as well.
Well, it's the hope it's the hope what kills you. And all I can hope for is that a lot of these players who aren't fit get fit, because we'll need them. If you look at the games to come and that, you have to look and say, this is a big worry. How can this team turn it round after that performance? Well, performances throughout the season, and get back to a level where you think you can have a go at City, Sheffield United, Burnley. These 2 games, these players have just got to step it up, because I just fear for everything what's going to happen. This is, I'm just thinking there now, Sheffield United, Man United have just got to go out there. The crowd has got to get behind them, but I fear they won't. I fear they won't, because there's big problems here. Getting the players fit is.
But is it not a big problem as well that a few weeks ago, me and you discussed this, that Erik ten Hag said in a press conference that he was not concerned with the amount of shots Manchester United are facing on goal. Now, with Coventry's 3 goals today, Manchester United have conceded 29 goals in 17 games in all competitions in 2024.
Yeah, of course it's poor.
Seeing them 3 goals and Coventry come back today, how can that not be a concern?
Well, not just seeing the 3 goals, the chance, of course it's a concern. Erik ten Hag at times is baffling us lately with his conversations, and I just don't get it sometimes. I think he's just standing up there and just rattling off things. But the chances are there. We've seen them create the chances. They didn't start playing till the second half, and that's their downfall. And they had chances, plenty of chances. United, I don't really think they had many chances in that 90 minutes. Yes, we scored 3 goals, but at the end of the day, they were there for the taking until the game turned when they got the first goal. And after that first goal, they just bombarded United, and United just collapsed. I don't think there was an attack in them. Breakaway, that was it.
Yeah, I've seen little bits and pieces about Antony as well, antagonising the Coventry fans, you know, putting the cups to his ears when that Hoyland penalty went in. And, you know, he needs to look at his own performances in trying to taunt the opposition fans, to be fair.
Well, I look at Antony, and if you look throughout this season and you see little things, what he's done and that, it doesn't show respect. It's the FA Cup, and everybody should show Coventry City respect. 100% from us here, right? They deserve the respect. I'd never, if I was a Coventry City player, I would never get over that. And for Antony to do what he did, right, embarrasses Manchester United Football Club, embarrasses himself, but he does not care. He's done it a few times. He's got a bad attitude. We've seen him ranting and raving for no apparent reason at players, and he's doing that to the Coventry City fans. Then it's embarrassing. He should hang his head in shame like a few other players did out there. Some of them, I'm telling you now, are bad. But I'll tell you what was bad was that Casemiro penalty. I could not believe the effort,
After seeing
the
that
casualness, what he did there. Absolutely. I was shocked. I thought we was out then. I thought we'll never recover from that.
After seeing that Bernardo Silva penalty as well midweek against Real Madrid, I mean, what's going through his head there?
Don't know what was going through his head. He just slowly walked up to it, took it. And
Like he wasn't bothered.
It didn't even hit it hard or anything. It was poor mentality and everything. He was outrun. He was outgunned in the position he was. Terrible. I just thought he had a poor game back there. The ball kept being passed back to him and that. He was passing it out. But soon as a player took him on, and that's what I mean about Coventry City. If they would have used the same tactics as they did in the second half to run at our back four, I think they would have won, to be honest with you. And to be honest with you, when you look at it, they deserved to win. And how United got through it, I'll never know. But, hey, we're through. That was the priority. And we're in the final of the FA Cup. How we're going to approach that FA Cup final, I just don't know.
Yeah, just a super chat. Akash Paul, cheers for that, mate. He says, scared for the FA Cup final, just terrible.
I've just said it there. Yeah. You're right, scared for the cup final. And what it is, it's leading up to it. I don't see how we're going to do the performances because them players are shell-shocked. Ireland scored the penalty. The players most of them stood in the centre circle congratulating Coventry players. I think they were too embarrassed, a lot of them, to celebrate, and quite rightly so. And it was right, in a way, for them to go round and console the Coventry players.
Yeah, Roy Keane actually said the Manchester United players and supporters weren't going over the top because they were lucky to win. They were almost embarrassed in the end.
Yeah, I think he's right. I think embarrassment does come into it. I think the players are embarrassed, the manager's embarrassed, the coaches are embarrassed, and I think the fans what are in there's a relief, a huge sigh of relief, but also embarrassed at the way that collapse appeared and that United couldn't do anything to stem it and then to survive the 4-3 when he scored and then it was ruled offside, and then to survive the penalties and extra time. I think embarrassment is the right word. Manchester United Football Club are an embarrassment at this moment in time. They do not know how to put one game after another together. They don't know how to put one half to go into the second half. They just total collapse, and it's just moments in games, and this is not the way it should. Sir Jim Ratcliffe here, I am telling you now, has got big problems. He said 3 years to turn this round. Nearly everyone on that pitch today, you could say, he's out of this club. And you could also say the same with the manager, because they're all to blame. They're all to blame. I'm embarrassed, I'm embarrassed as a Manchester United fan, right, to celebrate that game.
How do you think the players will be as well in the dressing room?
Quiet.
Yeah.
I am telling you, they will be quiet. Onana won't be quiet. Onana's never quiet, right? But I think them players, everybody else in the changing room there, and going home on the coach, if that's what they all do, they will all be quiet, and they'll look at it and just think to themselves, what happened there? And they'll look at themselves, and what they'll do is they'll go, I just didn't put it in. And they didn't put it in. They didn't put the tackles in. They didn't chase back. They didn't chase forward. They didn't work as a team. Total embarrassment.
Can we not just put this down to, like, you know, that old saying of the magic of the FA Cup, and it was just one of them games, semi-final at Wembley, and it had everything.
No, I think what it is, it's not the magic of the FA Cup. It's the drama of the FA Cup. The magic, that wasn't magic. That was United, right? Sulking, right? Soon as players started going off, players coming on, didn't work together. That wasn't the magic of the FA Cup, okay? Because like I say, Coventry, if they'd have started the game the way they finished it, right, which they should have done, then they'd have just turned United over. That was clear, because United had no backbone. There was no backbone in that team throughout.
Don't get me wrong, we've discussed it many times in recent press conferences. Erik ten Hag, he looks assured that he'll be definitely the Manchester United manager next season. But do you not think he'd be worried after coming away from that game tonight that there might have to be conversations there in the back room?
I think Højlund's penalty and winning on penalties actually saved Erik ten Hag tonight. I think Sir Jim Ratcliffe would have had to do something. and he'll have had to do something about the players. But the immediate thing I think he would have done was turn around and got rid of Erik ten Hag. I'm telling you, that was my impression. That was my thought watching that game for the last 10, 15 minutes. If United lose this, he has got to act. And I think the only way he could act was to get rid of Erik ten Hag. And I would not have blamed him. I would not have blamed him.
Well, they have said that they want to be ruthless as well, not just in the transfer market, but behind the scenes as well, in putting Manchester United back, challenging at the top. So, could be right. That might have been a decision he might have to have made tonight. But
luckily, he's held up. Well, at this moment in time, he's held off. Okay, so the end of the day, at this moment in time, he's held off. But I would not have been shocked. And if we'd have got beat, I would have probably turned around and said, Erik ten Hag tonight will fall.
Yeah, just going into the chat, Stephen Harper says, Eric at fault with his substitutions. Cheers for Super Chat, mate. And do you think that obviously made a big sweat in the game?
Yeah, the footballer in Manu, there.
Yeah.
He's doing the graft and all that. You know, he was fine. You know what I mean? Shouldn't have come off. I don't think Garnacho should have come off. I think Erik ten Hag with Garnacho should have shown a little bit of nous here, right, and not brought him off. So people and commentators and pundits and all that could turn around and go, oh, look, he's bringing Garnacho off again. Remember that last week? You know, the social media tweet and all that, right? No, should have brought Rashford off. But he put it on Garnacho. Put the pressure on him by bringing him off again, making him look a fool. That's how I see it. And there was no need to bring Manu off. He was strolling round the pitch.
Yeah, good point there. Just going back into the chat, Tech Mate, cheers for your Super Chat. He says, I think if you think this was bad, wait till the final against Manchester City. Is there any positives you can take from it that, you know, some of these injured players might well be back before that actual game as well?
Well, that's what,
especially in defence.
That's it. That's the only hope I've got, that some of these players will get back from injury. I mean, we was battered with injuries before the game again. Maguire didn't train all week. That's why I thought he had an excellent game. But the hope is watching United against Sheffield United on Wednesday and then against Burnley. Then you'll know. Then you'll know to see if they can turn it round. But to be honest with you, City, they've got 5-6 cup finals already because they have to win every game. And that's the difference. I always thought United would tail off the way it's gone the last few weeks, would tail off towards the end. And my God.
Do you expect that to happen now? Yeah, because of, you know, we're out of the Champions League places, won't be getting that this season. So do you think it's just this? Yeah,
I expect it to tail off. I expect some bad performances because there's some players there, I think, being told, and they also know that they're going and that they don't deserve to be here. You know, you look at Eriksen there, he's not going to be there. And at the end of the day, Antony, first time I've called Antony out big time. Antony doesn't deserve to be there. Does not deserve to be there. He's got the wrong attitude, not putting it in. I thought he just run around, didn't do the job he was supposed to do. But he's done that a lot. There's lots of players out there what just do not deserve to be there. And you've seen Casemiro, okay, been a great player and all that, right? For someone else mainly. But, you know, at the end of the day, right, he is what he is. He's a slow...
You've seen it in extra time, didn't you? That one-on-one in the wide area.
I mean, extra time, anyone can get tired. But at the end of the day, he is slow. He's slow in the tackle. He shouldn't be there. We need speed. We need players what are committed to each other and what work hard. We never seen players there when they were under pressure. You always expect pressure at some point during the game. And when the pressure came on, the players didn't work hard enough. They didn't work hard enough for each other. They never put it in. They were, and I've said it time and time again, they always seem to rely on other players to do the work for them. Lazy. And the culprit, the big culprit is, at times there, it felt like we was playing with 10 men with Rashford out there because he doesn't put it in. He doesn't play for anyone.
Yeah, with you saying that, though, and you expect like the performances, the results to tail off from now until the end of the season in the Premier League. Is it not time now to start playing some of these younger kids so we can get a proper look at them to see if they're good enough to be in the squad next season or whether they need a loan for next season somewhere else or they can develop? You know, a lot of people in the chat are talking about Ahmad. Why is he not getting a chance or a start before the likes of Antony and Rashford?
Listen, Ahmad should start, okay? Ahmad should start in front of Rashford. So let's see We all know the problem out there. We know Rashford's not doing it. How many times today did he go forward with the ball and did nothing with it? The ball got took off him, right? Just got took off him, or they were wayward passes. He kept passing it back. That's all he seemed to look for the majority of the time he was on the pitch. Receiving the ball, getting it back. Ahmad needs to be on there, right? But bringing loads of other different youngsters on, I don't see that's right for their career, okay? These players have to start performing and start manning up. But Ahmad, quite rightly so, he should start, and he should start right the way through now, regardless of the type of performances, because he's not going to be backed up by a team what's working for each other. Ahmad's going to have to do a lot himself.
Anything more to add, though, before we go?
No, we're through. We're at a cup final, but I don't feel like celebrating. It's been embarrassing. I don't think anyone out there is celebrating. I think, to be honest, a true Manchester United fan can only feel anger at how close we was, right, to being humiliated. And I mean humiliated. This game, we'd have fallen, right? This game would have been remembered till the end of time. Absolutely shambles.
Yeah, just like to thank everyone for joining us today, especially getting involved in the chat. It's been absolutely popping off there. But Manchester United, we are through to the FA Cup final. Get your thoughts and opinions in the chat on today's game. Obviously, that final as well, what you think that's going to be like. And yeah, smash a like on the video if you've enjoyed it and you want to help support the channel. And we'll be back tomorrow with another video. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, everyone, and thank you.
Thank you.